Hey traders, Raghee here, and in this free video, let's get into it. 4 of the markets that I've been asked the most about throughout the week. The euro, bonds, gold, and the NASDAQ actually. So let's get right into it. So starting with bonds. Bonds are a market that we've continued to be bullish in, and I don't mean recently. We've been bullish in bonds since the end of last year. We continue to be bullish. A lot of folks are asking me, is the ride over? And I don't believe that it is, but it's a lot more crowded up at these heights than it was at previous buys that we put on here in the room, going back into this area. But it's more consensus. In other words, the cat's out of the bag. Everybody knows. And so waiting for pullbacks is as important as ever. We finally got a pullback this week, the last couple of days, not only to the 21 EMA, but to the 34 EMA on the high as well, which is a terrific zone that's part of what I like to call just kind of the first opportunity, maybe the first of two that we can take advantage of to get long in bonds. So terrific. Got the pullback, and we get to move on from there. Gold is a very similar story. Again, a lot of folks start to, and this term is so overused now, but the FOMO that people feel as a market like gold is up at 1560, and this notion that it's not ever going to pull back, right? So what do people do? They go ahead and buy up at those heights, and that's exactly the opposite of what I want you all to do. Do not buy at highs. Wait for even a small pullback. And again, a small pullback can be the 21 EMA, it can be the 34 EMA on the high, and that's exactly, again, what we got. That's where you want to engage this market. So very similar to bonds in that way. All right, so currencies, or specifically the euro. The euro was something that I would love everyone to pivot to, because everyone's got a lot of interest in the pound, and I get that. But in the middle of that kind of political melee, it makes a whole lot more sense to wait for the market, say, a much more established downtrend, like in the euro, to correct. And this is just a quick bounce, preferably to 34 EMA on the low all the way up to the high. That's our zone, okay? That's our zone. And there's a lot more going on in currencies. And for those of you that may not know, I'll be doing I think about a 1-hour free Forex discussion. We don't do a lot of Forex over at Simpler Futures. We have in the past. We're going to start to reinvigorate that Forex section of our membership because central banks are on the move, and we're going to start to dust off the Forex and start trading currencies a little bit more actively. So this is going to be a quick video that a quick seminar that I'll be doing. And then heads up, here at Simpler, we're going to do a lot more Forex discussion. Euro definitely being one of them, and Euro Yen. So a few folks asked me, do I prefer to play Euro Yen or Euro US dollar? Again, going into the September 18th decision from the FOMC, I actually prefer Euro Yen right now, okay? They're both good. Heck, do them both if you can, but I probably slightly prefer the Euro Yen at the moment. All right, last up, the NASDAQ and what's going on with the NAS. I do believe this is still a distribution market. I'm not going to be suddenly getting bullish. I know there's a lot of folks getting very optimistic about US China, but this is a market that's trading just higher into overbought zones. Gang, how many times have we heard that US China is making all sorts of progress, and how many times has the market been disappointed by that? Exactly. So that's why I would like to look for short sells up in this area. And we can utilize the V-score to pinpoint that just a bit better. We could move up a little bit more. We could. Again, this is not tech-driven. This is not data-driven. This is purely headline-driven. And that is a difficult thing to discount. So we know we're in the right kind of market trend to fade this potentially. I don't believe that US-China undoes the global economic slowdown that the data has been showing has been happening since last year. Gang. And so we continue to focus on those relative outperforming sectors to the downside. Now, that's a funny way to put it. But there are leaders, there are markets that have better downside structure, and we're going to focus on those specifically. We're going to talk more about metals, energies, and some of the stocks I'm looking at with the RBOB, the crude oil markets, natty gas, and more in the premium video. In the meanwhile, enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll see you all, well, those of you that are interested in Forex, I'll see you guys tomorrow for this event. And in the meanwhile, enjoy the rest of your day.